Hey everyone, it's Southern Milk Canto. I have a fun video for everyone. So it's going to be talking about social class in romance novels today. This is a trope I do enjoy, and I think a lot of other people enjoy them as well. You know, with romance novels, it typically has a viscount, a marquess, a duke, an earl, a prince consort, a king, possibly. A man of noble needs, a Rockefeller or something like that. And yeah, I thought for fun we could talk about some of my favorite historical romances that have the trope of different social classes. We're going to talk first about one of the Bridgerton books. This is book three. Book three. Is it? Yes. Book 3, An Offer from a Gentleman. This is Benedict's book. So if you know the Bridgerton books, you know each Bridgerton sibling sort of gets their own story and own romance. And this is Benedict's. And what is fabulous about this book is, as you can see from the cover, it's a Cinderella trope. So much fun. Cinderella isn't my favorite fairy tale. I'm a diehard Little Mermaid fan, as you can see from the mermaids all over. But the Cinderella trope, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Ever since I was little and saw Ever After with Drew Barrymore, just breathe. Such a good movie. And I just love a Cinderella trope. And this brings it. This is a wonderful Cinderella trope. If you love Cinderella tropes, read this. With Bridgerton, skip the second epilogues if you don't want spoilers. Just know everyone gets married and lives happily ever after. So, if someone gets married, you've been fair warned. But, yes. So Sophie Beckett is our heroine of this story. And she, basically has the tale of Cinderella. She is the daughter of a man of means. I can't remember if he was an earl or, I don't think he was like a duke, but he was high up there, like a viscount or something like that. And Sophie is his illegitimate daughter. And so she's raised in the house and she's treated fairly well. But then when he remarries, she's scum to the stepmother and stepdaughters. And basically, she's not treated as she should be. And it's very, very Cinderella. Well, she goes to the ball one night stealing her stepmother's shoes and the dress that was her grandmother's, I think, and goes to a masked ball. She meets Benedict. They dance. He falls in love with her brain and wit, which I love. They fall in love, and yeah, she has to leave the next day and basically be sent off by her wicked stepmother. And at one point, she becomes an indentured servant, basically, to Benedict. So, yes, lots of class issues. Wonderful Cinderella trope. This, spoiler alert, I am doing a ranking my Bridgerton. This is my favorite Bridgerton novel. I loved it. I love this story. Like I said, Cinderella isn't my favorite fairy tale, but I love the trope. I'd like to read A Kiss by Midnight by Eloisa James. It's on my list for 2022. Hard to believe. But yes, this is my number one Bridgerton book. I love the social class here and just the Cinderella-ness of it all. We have another sort of fun fairy tale with a twist. This is by Charis Michaels, and this is the When You Wish Upon a Duke. This is kind of like fairy tale retellings. We have here Isabel Tinker and then Jason North Beckett, the Duke of Northumberland. And Sophie is sort of a shop girl. She runs a travel agency, and she is the daughter of a famous actress, so she's sort of looked down upon. I don't know if she had like a father, like if her mother was married, or if if Isabel was illegitimate to some extent. She was sort of looked down upon because of her mother's career. That people love to go see the opera singers and the actresses, but like, ooh, you kind of a hoe. So, they weren't too in love with women in on stage, so to speak. So Isabel's a shop girl, and she meets the Duke, and, you know, obviously class struggles. And Isabel has always felt, you know, beneath the class that she should be in. She has money from her mother. Her mother makes a good living as this famous actress. I believe she's known for Shakespeare roles. And, you know, Isabel does well. She has her own job. But it is sort of looked down upon because she's a woman that has to work. It's not like back then. It wasn't like, oh, how noble, how feminist. You know, feminism wasn't fully idealized or embraced at the time. I mean, it still happened, but it wasn't like, woohoo. It was sort of like, she has to work, so she's, you know, destitute. She must have had, like, an honorable parent or something like that. So it was like, looked down upon because you had to work. Because she had to. That was how she was off the streets, basically. And this is just a wonderful novel with lots of humor. They have great banter and dialogue. This was one of my favorite books of the year. I'm going to do a ranking of my probably top 5. This will be in my top 5 because I really love this story. I don't want to give too much away, but yes, we have a Duke and a shop girl, and let's just say we might have a Duchess at the end. So this was another great book I read, and this is A Duke Worth Fighting For by Christina Britton. And we have 2 cases of a woman having to go against her father's well wishes and go after love, and she's a man that's beneath her station. So what's interesting about this story is it's the woman who is wealthy. So she is the daughter, I believe she's the daughter of a duke. Yes. Wait. Never mind. I thought, well, I can still talk about it. So Marjorie Kitteridge has lost her husband, and in the beginning of the story, her father really wanted to disown her because she must have been the daughter of a duke, or yes, the daughter of a duke. And she fell in love with a man that was, you know, working class, and he was going to be a soldier. And she told her father she wanted to marry him, and he was like, you marry him, I will cut you off. And, you know, she married him, and they worked it out, but he unfortunately died. And he died in a war, and so she's now a young widow. And she meets and falls in love with a duke, but he's not your typical duke. He fought in wars as well. He actually fought possibly with her husband. And, you know, he's of privilege, but he's a little more woke than the average duke. Let's say it that way. But this was a great story. And it was interesting to have resentment from the family of a woman that wanted to marry beneath her station. So if you're looking for a book that explores that idea of like rich female, middle class to low income male, I would pick this up. Like if you're doing a paper and need sources or something like that. But yes, very good story. This is another book that I really enjoyed. And mirroring A Duke Worth Fighting For, we have another heroine who is wealthy. And this was a good book as well. This was, almost dropped it. How to Survive a Scandal by Samara Parish. Great cover, by the way. And this is similar in the fact that we have a, what is she? She's a lady. She's being raised to be a duchess. So she is rich. She's of a high station. And she falls into a scandal. So her carriage, I guess she has like a carriage wreck. I don't know how else to describe it. She has a carriage wreck at night in the winter. Basically, I don't know where the driver went, or she drove herself. I can't remember, sadly. And she's basically like gonna die from hypothermia when she meets Benedict Osterley, saves her life, and he's of a low station. And in order to help her not die of hypothermia, he has to take her to his cottage, basically, and strip her of her clothing to her undergarments, and he gets basically to his undergarments, and he gets a fire going, and he uses his body warmth to basically keep her alive. Well, the following morning, you know, people are like, where did Lady Amelia go? And when they start asking questions about that, they find out that she is with this man, and they are caught in a compromised position. And so, another great story. I loved the trope of being caught in a compromised position. It's my favorite trope. And I loved the social class differences between them. It sort of reminded me of like the archetype of Overboard. It's one of my favorite movies with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, where we have Joanna, who's a spoiled, rich, sort of like Real Housewife sort of archetype, and she basically meets this Kurt Russell bumpkin. And that's just a fun story. But I loved a lot of these. Well, I loved every one of these books. These were all 5 stars. And yeah, they all talked about social class differences, whether we have an illegitimate daughter, the daughter of an actress, a rich lady, or a woman who went against her wealthy father's well wishes and married for love and not status or station. So yeah, these were some of my books that explored different classes. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you plan to, or if you've read a book this year that also explores this trope of falling in love when you're in different class systems. Well, everyone, I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to like, subscribe as well as comment, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Southern Bel Canto. Well, everyone, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye, everyone.